Yo, what's good? It's Mastermind MMA, and this video is going to be on Weidman V Jacare Souza. Now, I touched on it a little bit in my Rockhold branch recap, but now I'm going to go more in depth in it. So, Jacare's manager came out and said that they were looking to do this at 219 in December. I don't have the article pulled up right now, but I'm pretty sure that's what it said. And, this is a good fight. This is a high-level fight. This is a championship caliber fight. Jacare's coming off of that loss to Robert Whitaker. I don't put too much on that loss because we didn't know Bobby Nux was as elite of a fighter as he is. And that fight was the fight that proved that to us. You know what I mean? Whitaker... His most notable win, I believe, in the division was Brunson. And, he had a loss to Wonder Boy at 170. And then, you know what I mean? Actually, and then Robert Whitaker beat Uriah Hall, too. So there's that. He beat some good guys, but not guys at the not top 5 guys. And we saw how legit he was after Jacare, and we're like, all right, let's see him against Romero. And what he did to Romero, we're like, oh shit, this guy's next up. You know what I mean? Like, he could be the next leader of the division. And I'm not saying that Jacare underestimated him, but we have to look at Jacare's mindset at that time. Before Whitaker was even in the picture, Jacare was that guy that was, Yoel Romero was the solid, cemented number 1 contender. And then Jacare was that next guy who was trying to either go over Romero for the title shot or, Romero for the interim. So he was like, you know what, this division's fucked up. It's all clogged up because of Bisping. I'm going to keep fighting. I'm going to keep getting checks. So he was fighting for pay. Not that he needs it, but he was fighting to make money. Not to really progress towards the belt. He fought Tim Bosch in fucking Brooklyn on that Barclay shit show. And after that, when he was fighting Whitaker, it was kind of just for him to make a check and stay active. And he learned the hard way that you can't really take opponents like that, especially a guy like Bobby Nux. So I'm not taking anything against him in that, and I'm not taking anything against Bobby Nux win. That shit was legit as fuck. And I think just Jacare now is going to more mind his P's and Q's more, because he's not going to have the luxury of being able to look over any more opponents, because if he does, then, that's his reputation on the line, he's not going to be regarded as such an elite guy. More guys are gonna take his spot, basically. So this, you could argue fucking 2 years ago that this is a championship fight. This possibly could have happened over the Rockhold fight, you know what I mean, during 2014. Because, those top guys were Rockhold and Jacare and Romero and all that. And Jacare Romero fought on that 194 card. So, it had a little bit of a middleweight tournament. And, the division got fucked up. The division is fucked up at the top of the division. But when you look at it, the contenders are the ones fighting the championship caliber fights. Whitaker's a champ now, but interim champ now. But he was the guy fighting fucking Jacare Souza, Yoel Romero, the elite of the top of the division. Weidman was the guy fighting Yoel Romero, Gegard Mousasi. You know what I mean? So, Jacare wasn't really fighting up the division too much. He was, as I said, he was kind of getting checks at that time because he was kind of riding off of the I arguably already beat Yoel Romero thing. You know what I mean? So this fight is a high level fight. Obviously, my pick is gonna be biased as a motherfucker. I'm rooting for Weidman, but not only is it because of my bias, but I do think Weidman has has the skill set to beat Jacare. But also, I'm not going to be totally subjective. Jacare has a good chance of beating my boy Weidman too. I'll be the first one to admit it. Weidman has good jiu-jitsu, but nothing on the level of Jacare. You know what I mean? So that kind of eliminates Weidman's wrestling game a bit, because it wouldn't really be smart to take someone like Jacare down and fight him on the ground. Now, stand up, Jacare has good stand up too, but I could see it going like kind of how Whitaker won the fight. You know what I mean? I could see that happening. I could also see Jacare, also doing some damage on the feet. So this really, in reality, is kind of a pick'em fight, in my opinion. But obviously, I'm rooting for Chris. I think it's good that this shit is happening in December, because when I saw Chris, his hand was in a cast and it was wrapped up. So I mean, that was like a month ago. So I think he might have broke his hand in the Gastelum fight or something, or maybe in training. But I think he had to have, it would have had to have been in the Gastelum fight, because what he wouldn't really be training that hard, because he doesn't have anything coming up at that time. So I think whatever was wrong with his hand, that it would give it time to heal up. And I want to see, this is these are the fights we need to see in this division, because this all this entertainment, I love it. You know what I mean? But it's fucking the shit up. And when I say entertainment, I mean the super fights. I loved when McGregor fought Nate. I loved when McGregor fought Alvarez. I wish they do have more super fights. You know what I mean? But you can't have it in situations where it just fucks the division. Because go back to 2015, things were very linear. You know what I mean? It was champion, top-ranked contenders, defend against the top-ranked contenders. And it was very clean, it was very systematic, and it was very, very, operated like clockwork, like a football season or a basketball season, how you have the teams from the East battle it out, the West battle it out, and then they come meet to see who's the best in the country. So it was very linear like that. Now you have so many divisions fucked up. You could argue featherweight's messed up because McGregor vacated the belt. Lightweight is messed up because McGregor is not defending the belt and there's an interim belt. Welterweight is clean. 185 is fucked up because there's Bisping, there's Robert Whitaker, and then there's the former 170 champ coming up to challenge for the title while there's an interim champ. And 205 is fucked up because of John Jones. And when you really look at it, more divisions are fucked up than not. You know what I mean? So, we need a little order in it. I think in a few more. Honestly, bro, that Bisping GSP fight, it's whoever loses is likely to retire. Both men have said that. Bisping was this might be my last one, buddy. And then GSP is if I lose, I'm gonna fucking, that's it. He didn't say if and or but. He was if I well, there's your if. He was if I lose, I will retire. I'm that's it for me. So, and you got Luke Rockhold trying to jump in there if GSP doesn't show up, which I'm pretty cool with, because, if GSP doesn't show up, if GSP pulls out, I'm cool with Rockhold going back, because that rubber match is due, and that's very linear, you know what I mean? Because you have Anderson Silva to Chris Weidman to Luke Rockhold to Bisping. So if Rockhold fights the rubber match and then gets that back, and then you could have a unification bout with whoever wins that. But we're probably not. GSP's most likely not pulling out. So, you know, I think GSP is going to unify the belt more. There's more chances of GSP unifying the belt than Bisping unifying the belt. I think if Bisping wins this one, he's going to ride off into the sunset because Whitaker is too risky of a fight, especially when he's coming off of this fight with GSP. But GSP contractually, I mean, he claims he's contractually obligated to unify, but, you know, we've heard so much shit. You know, Bisping fight. I mean, Bisping GSP is not happening. Whoever wins Woodley versus Maia is gonna fight GSP, and then after Woodley Maia happens, oh yeah, Bisping GSP's happening. That boat sailed right back around. So, you know, you can't take anything Dana White says seriously at all. You know what I'm saying? So there's that. And I think this is a great fight in the division. I think this is what the division needs. It's the top contenders. Again, a championship caliber fight. And I'm looking forward to this. This is a fight that really should have happened a little while ago. It should have been, you know, in there with one of the title defenses of Chris's, but you know, we're getting it now, and it's still a good fight. Obviously, Chris went on a bit of a skid. He's back in the win column, and people are criticizing that, you know, Gastelum was just a 170er that came up. I mean, Gastelum is a 170er, but he's doing phenomenal at 185. And I think by that logic, if you're saying Gastelum's a 170er, Robert Whitaker came up from 170. So what are you guys like really saying? You know what I mean? So, and that's not even a biased take. That's just like legit how I feel. And, you know, I think that this is, you know, if Chris gets this, is back off to the races, back off to title shots and shit like that. I do want to see Rockhold Weidman too. I think whoever wins this is Luke Rockhold. You know what I mean? That's the only thing that makes sense with Gegard gone. So, and both have history with Rockhold. Both have losses to Rockhold. So, I mean, you could argue Jacare didn't really lose, but, you know, it was a close fight. Wouldn't mind seeing that again. They were supposed to have that in November. Rockhold tore some shit, his ACL or something. So, that's what I think should happen. It should be Weidman Jacare. Whoever wins that fights Luke Rockhold. By then, hopefully the belts would be unified or vacated and Whitaker promoted. And then whoever beats Rockhold gets the title shot. And then you're clogged with that division solved at that point. So it's really only a matter of time. It depends how this whole shit at MSG plays out. But at least like one division getting cleaned up works. You know what I mean? So you already know it's Mastermind MMA.